Welcome back. We have celebrated newspaper columnist and two-time author Jack Knox joining us on the show, who's in town for a couple of days from Victoria. Welcome back to Midday.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Why are you in town, Jack?
I am in town to do a talk for the Kamloops Society for the Written Arts. Friday night, 7 o'clock, St. Andrews in the Square.
You got it down.
I remembered.
Take over the interview. You're good.
I'm going to show up on time.
So your topic is talking about the golden age of journalism in Kamloops. And so I ask you, when was that time?
Well, it was when I was here, of course.
Of course, right? The 80s or the 90s? 80s.
Late 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
Right,
but quickly before this, Vic Bafano, of course, being our last guest, Jack remembers walking into Valley View High School, and it was Vic's first day on the job as a student teacher?
Student teacher, fresh out of university. Vic Bafano walked in. And
that's so awesome.
I think we tried to break him, but it didn't work.
No,
so
clearly not.
He's still here.
Yeah, no, he was a great principal. I think the kids loved him. But yeah, your connections to Kamloops are close.
Yeah, my family's from here. My mother's still 97 years old. She's here. She was born here. My dad was born here on Knox Street in North Kamloops.
Is that why it's called Knox Street?
Yeah, it was after my grandparents.
I just drove down there yesterday. I was dropping my son off at baseball. I said, Knox Street. I wonder if that's Jack Knox's family.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's cool, really.
No, Kamloops will always be home. I love coming back.
That's great. So, golden age. Let's get back to it. 70s, 80s.
It was a terrific place in retrospect, because I've been in newspapers for 40 years now, and in retrospect, it really was great. Kamloops has always punched above its weight for journalism, and I think it's something people here have taken for granted, but having worked in other cities and for other media, you look back and you go, wow, it was pretty good. It still is. But I think there was a solid foundation set by local guys, Ian Clark, who founded this station. The Kamloops News had local ownership, and all these guys had a deep commitment to the community, and they brought in good people. So you had people like Mel Rothenberger and Doug Collins and guys like that who are still around, who set a really high standard of journalism. Now, my talk's mostly just about the fun stuff.
Sure.
Because it was, to call it a war is ridiculous, but it was incredibly competitive on every level, and we had a ton of fun doing it.
What are some of your best memories here for journalism? What are some of the stories you covered that stick out?
I remember, I tell the truth, I remember the weird stuff. The one story that, I always thought this was a great Kamloops story. There was a hostage taking on Nicholas Street. It was really tense. There was a guy, he was blowing out the windows of neighboring houses with a 30-06 and then a 12-gauge shotgun. So they've got the neighborhood evacuated. The cops are all hiding behind cop cars and walls, and we're hiding behind the cops. And it's dead silent. 10 o'clock, the door of the house next door opens, and this guy marches out and glares at everybody and turns on his sprinkler and goes back inside his house. Because it's 10 o'clock, the city says he can sprinkle, he's going to sprinkle.
No way. That's crazy.
No.
Were you here for the David Shearing murders?
I was, and boy, that really did grip not only the city, the whole area, and because it dragged on for so long. It was Susan Duncan did a terrific job reporting. For
people who don't know, we're almost out of time, but David Shearing charged with murder after, maybe you can tell the story.
Oh, he was a fellow from around Clearwater, I believe, and he essentially killed 3 generations of one family.
Right, while they were out camping.
That's right, and it was a whodunit for a long, long time, and finally, I think, resolved with the discovery of his truck with bullet holes in it, I think, hidden somewhere in it. And it really was one of those crimes, just because it was unsolved for so long, and it was such a horrible crime that it did grip the area.
Yes. Can you stand it? We don't have any more time. I should have booked off 2 extra segments or something. We could have talked for a long time.
Oh, I'll rattle on forever. Yeah.
Well, but that's a good thing, and you will be talking more about this tomorrow night.
Yes.
St. Andrews on the Square, 7 o'clock.
That's right.
People can come to the door and get tickets. This is going to be a great opportunity to meet Jack Knox. Great sense of humor this guy has as well. We haven't really seen that as much today as normal, but 2 books under his belt, a 3rd one on the way apparently as well. So it'll be a great evening to have you here.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Okay. Information on the screen again. St. Andrews on the Square, 7 o'clock tomorrow. We're back after a quick break. Stay with us.